Hello and welcome to Through Africa. We're joining you again from our studios here in Ankara, Turkey, to discuss a very important topic to the African continent. It is still me, your host, Mercy Bamgola. And today we'll be talking about bridging the gap, aligning education with career aspirations. And we have a guest today who we'll be talking with. But before we move to him, I'd just like to give a little introduction of what education has been in Nigeria. So Nigeria faces a series of obstacles when it comes to its educational development, and an important one is the career choices of students in our Nigerian schools and the reliability of the skills that they learn in secondary school before they graduate and go to the university. The Nigerian system is devoid of, as we know it, quality and job-related education. A functional education has been described as education that gives attention to science and technological growth. So to talk more about this topic, I'll be speaking with ThankGod Ibeh, who is the co-founder at Starlab Academy. Hello, ThankGod.
Oh, you're welcome. It's nice to have me. Thank you so much for having me this day.
You're welcome. And thank you very much, too, for coming on the program. So I'd just like us to go to, I've given a little background on the education system in Nigeria in relation specifically to career aspirations and career decisions. So can you tell us about what you do at Starlab Academy?
Okay, at Starlab Academy, there are just three words that can really give a summary of what we do. We discover, we develop, and we connect. So we help young people to discover their strengths, and only that, try to help them with developing the necessary skill that could also help them to connect with career opportunities and mentors as well. That's the major thing. So we discovered the lack of career guidance in secondary school, especially where the students have to choose departments or courses, and most of the time just the students try to choose those courses maybe based on what they're exposed to. So we are coming in to expose them and help them have full information about the different careers and that's available for them based on their strengths this time.
Oh, great. And I think that's a very good one because I am also inclined to education and making, education more accessible. And as a Nigerian too, I think I can relate to what you're talking about. I went through the Starlab Academy's, social media page. Then I went through the website as well, and I see that there are some courses that are offered, and some of them are also related to, technology and technical. It's basically different, what do you call it now? Different courses on technology, and the world is moving forward, and AI. So how do you view the role of technology in shaping youngsters' career prospects?
Yeah, technology itself is no more just a tool. Technology itself is becoming a part of life. In fact, almost in every career course or whatever you can call it, we have these views of technology in it. So, in fact, in Starlab Academy, we try to tell every young person that there is this digital feel to every course, every career. Either you want to become a doctor, you want to be an engineer, and there's need for digital literacy in which you need to be informed because that's where the world is moving into. You mentioned AI, artificial intelligence, and how it's being incorporated into almost virtually every career field. So you can see it's one of the major things we try doing while trying to also help to discover strengths. We try to align strengths with career aspiration using some of these digital skills, giving them the needed digital skills that can help them to also scale up, even especially in this modern time, not just in the years gone by.
Oh, great. Yes, so let's now talk about Nigeria specifically. Previously, before your screen came on, before your video itself came up, the screen was showing, the Nigerian president, the House of Parliament, and every other thing related to Nigeria. So Nigerian students in choosing their career, especially as you said, your work majorly focuses on secondary school students. In choosing their career, what would you say are the major hindrances for students?
Yeah, yeah. Even though from our piloting stage, we are definitely trying to penetrate this talent discovery, career guidance into secondary schools. We discovered few things that I must mention. There's a lack of adequate career guidance, which I mentioned a time, in which Nigerian students, they lack comprehensive career counseling. So there's nobody to counsel them. There's nobody that has that full view of how life is, maybe as a doctor, as an engineer, that could perhaps counsel them. That's one of the things. Another thing I discovered as well is this limited exposure to diverse career options. I've had opportunity to speak with young people, and you get the only thing they can only mention, they could only mention courses they are familiar with. So they don't know about courses like maybe nanotechnology. They don't know about some, and who knows, maybe their strength could tally with some of those. And not just that, it could also be socio-economic factors. So now that's pressure from friends, pressure from parents, pressure from, and lastly, I would say there's also limitations in the curriculum. So the curriculum, not just Nigerian curriculum this time, sometimes does not also give that will I say, does not give room for modern workspace in which young people could have the opportunity to visit some of these places too.
Okay, I'm glad that you mentioned curriculum, because that is the next question I was going to ask you. Do you think the Nigerian curriculum is set to position students for a better tomorrow? Because as there's this, saying in Nigeria that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. But then we have this curriculum that you've just talked about. The curriculum itself, does it enable students to choose the right careers for themselves? And does it prepare them for the future?
Yeah, I would say the Nigerian curriculum, like most of the curriculums in Africa, not just Nigeria though, it has a strength. And but there's room for improvements in terms of personalized career guidance. So most of these curriculums were designed based on past, or I won't say obsolete, workspace. So there's need to really do some kind of modification and see how to personalize career guidance and also align education with individual strengths. Because this time, I think the world is gone beyond just having to learn, having to develop any kind of skill, or having to become a doctor, an engineer, or whatever. It's more of you becoming what you're very good at. And so I think that development is very important. So greater emphasis should be made on self-discovery, skill assessment, and even exposure to diverse career. So I think the opportunity to also help young people to have the feel of where they are going to, how the real world look like, giving them this real world experience and integrating practical skills into the curriculum would be a very good one. At Star Lab, that's exactly the role we're trying to play. We're trying to complement the formal education system by also providing targeted career guidance and skill development. So we're trying to come in between.
All right, thank you very much for that. And I think that's an incredible one. You're trying to fill in the gap for what is missing, and I do commend that. Now, you mentioned, the popular careers that most Nigerians, or let's say the older generation, would want the young ones to pursue, like being a doctor, being a lawyer, being a nurse. While these careers are very important, we do know that the world is moving and moving forward. So what, in your opinion, what are the most promising career fields in Africa today? We're talking specifically now on Africa. And how can education adapt the demand, the meeting? How can the education system meet the demands?
Okay. First of all, I'm an advocate for giving an itemizing or highlighting career fields or career courses based on strength. So even though I just mentioned that most of the careers that many of our young people are exposed to are just those old ones, but we've got promising career fields in Africa, which include technology, I cannot overemphasize that, renewable energy, agriculture, and healthcare, and even entrepreneurship. In fact, I don't think so many other person is diving into entrepreneurial courses, things that could help them to become business person and the rest of that. So I think fields like these are promising career fields. Education needs to adapt by focusing on developing skills that are in high demand, like I've just mentioned. And the only thing they can do, and that can be done rather, is by integrating digital literacy, soft skills, data analysis, problem solving, and critical thinking. So these are some of the like I say, skills that can be adapted into some of this career. So incorporating internships is also a very good one to help. So apart from having some of this field, like I mentioned, we need to incorporate internships, apprenticeships, and even project-based learning into education, because I believe that this is a crucial way to prepare students for the real world of work.
All right, there. Thank you. Thank God. So when we're talking about all of this, we should not forget the people who spend the most times with these students or with these children. Those are the parents, because they are very important in all of these discussions, because without them, we can't, there's just little that we can do. So I like to, and you've mentioned terms like critical thinking, digital literacy. Sometimes it's hard to explain these terminologies to the older generations. So what would you think should be the parental input, and how should parents be involved in this process? Most times, we've had situations where parents themselves decide the career of the children. So how do you think this complex situation can be navigated?
Yeah, just like you mentioned, the parent, in fact, they are one great stakeholders in trying to implement or trying to help young people discover their strengths and also develop and connect. If you have anything that I'm going to say about what parents would get, I think parents should emphasize, should this time should play a very supportive role by encouraging their children to explore their interests. And they can do that through open communication. Parents, if we are going to grade everybody that has time with the kids, I think the parents do. They perhaps have this opportunity of really understanding the aspiration of their children. Then they can easily give guidance without imposing their own preference. So there's always that issue in which parents I want my kid to do this, I want my child to do this. No, they need to have that open communication. Not just that, parents can also help by exposing their children to different career options through conversations. I used to remember in the foreign space and the Western world, what they do for kids is that they give them variety toys. They want to know what really attract these kids. They give them toys that relate to engineering, toys that relate to medicine, and they want to see which of it really is the kid going for, is the kid. So parents could also help young people and children to explore and research on each of these courses. And it could be through open conversation, visiting workspace, and even connecting them with other professionals. Mentorship, which is one thing Salab is also going to be key about, trying to get mentors from different parts. Then the last thing I think I should mention is that parents can also support their kids, their children, skill development by encouraging them to participate in extracurricular activities. We've got a lot of online courses that could help them, and even workshops. So I think parents have huge and massive role to really play in achieving this purpose.
Oh, definitely. I think you're right there. Now, when you mentioned interactive toys, I think the very next question came to mind. It's interactive toys you provide them, in the classes, for example, to have pupils now be more interactive, as the name suggests, and to understand what it is that they actually need. Let's talk about student participation in classrooms. Nigeria has a lot of obstacles, as I mentioned in the introduction, that faces its education sector. There's low funding, inadequate infrastructure. We can't deny that these things happen. So how do these obstacles affect the participation of students in classrooms?
Yeah, you're right. Low funding and inadequate infrastructure creates significant barriers to quality education and even student participation. And in fact, for example, when you've got a classroom that is overcrowded and perhaps there's not enough resource or limited access to technology, all this can hinder learning and even discourage students from actively participating or engaging themselves in the learning process. But it is also important to find innovative solutions. Technology itself is bringing endless solutions to some of these problems, and that's why we have um, digital learnings and leveraging leveraging technology has helped with online classes, has helped to will I say reduce the number of people that can that reduce the number of people that perhaps can be in a class at a time. And not only that, I think another thing that should be done, trying to leverage in technology and trying to solve this problem, could be also community partnership and looking for alternative learning models. So I think in Star Lab we tried to do something. Lately we got um, some friends outside the country, I think Zambia precisely, and mentioning the same thing. Now, it's perhaps could be very difficult when it has to do with physical, but this time we know that technology is providing so many solutions. And one of the things we try doing is we are trying to digitalize all that we are doing, all that we are doing physically. We are trying to digitalize that. And I think that can be done even in the learning environment as well, in which all that needs to be provided, resources, engaging the young people could be digitalized, and it could be something that they could always have just handy with them. I think that would help to also.
Definitely. Thank you very much. And finally, I'll be asking you the final question, and this will be about Starlab Academy. You've said so much about Starlab Academy and what you're doing in and out of the country, and I think this work is very commendable. So, do you have any upcoming activities at the academy aimed at aligning education with career aspiration? I mean, in addition to what you're already doing.
Yeah, so I would start by giving you an illustration that I've always used during my presentation. I always go with a young man called Kofi, a Ghanaian, and in fact, from his childhood or younger age or whatever, he has interest in engineering and perhaps always seen in the house dismantling these gadgets, trying to touch this, try to couple this. But unfortunately for Kofi, in his class or in his school, he is not doing so well. So perhaps he's seen to be someone that, okay, since he's not doing too well, don't let us take him to the science space. Let's take him to humanities. And Kofi was found doing whatever in humanities and now struggles the most, the more rather. So, but thanks to the opportunities Talab is bringing this time, is helping Kofi to really understand that, oh, there is a strength he has and he can really tap into that. So with all the solution, Kofi is now able to learn or dive back into engineering. And I tell you, Kofi is now an engineer. So just from the illustration given, that is exactly what Starlab is trying to do in every school. So we're trying to partner with every local schools and also help them provide targeted career guidance and skill development to their students. And not just that, we are also looking at connecting to many mentors, volunteers, and those that could be very interested in mentoring, students that are perhaps looking at them as models. So we plan to expand our programs to reach more young people and also build a comprehensive platform that connects them with mentorship, with training and opportunities. So meaning there's no boundary to what we can do, whether you're in Lagos, in Nigeria, in any part of Africa, in the Western, the Eastern, and whatever. So we're trying to make sure that all of these are available. So we're also actively seeking for partnerships with other organizations because we believe that other organizations would also give us a preview, a real view as well of how career looks like and what the world, will I say, the modern job market needs from every student. So when we have that, it means every student has the opportunity of really having a clear view of what the real world needs from them. And I believe with the collaboration with organizations, stakeholders, and volunteers, we can create a greater impact and also build a strong talent ecosystem. And this definitely is what we are, in fact, that's exactly what we're working on. For the first 6 months of this year, that's our major goal, and that's what we count as success for us.
All right, there. That was really a good one, and I'm impressed by the work you do, and I hope that you'll find the partners that you need. I mean, we're doing this program to also raise awareness and to make the work that you do at Starlab Academy known to the world. So I say a very big thank you to you, ThankGod Ibeh. Thank you for joining us on the show today. Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
so
time
much.
and your contributions.
I really, really appreciate it. I also thank the team and thank everyone. It's been amazing. It's an opportunity to be here to tell the world what we do. Thanks.
A big thank you to ThankGod Ibeh, the co-founder at Starlab Academy, for joining us on the program today. And with that, we've come to the end of the show. And this is Through Africa. It is still me, your host, Mercy Bamgola. And to send us your questions and information, you can do so on our WhatsApp number, which is always on the screen. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.